Good morning, everyone. David Schonecker, licensed PE with the Avanta Group. Why is it flooding in Tampa or Central Florida in general? Let's talk about it briefly. I'm a licensed PE, civil engineer by degree, structural architectural engineer by trade. So I don't know everything about drainage design per se, but give you some quick thoughts that are just helpful to understand what we're into, where it's going, what this holds for the future. Couple quick points. Number one, we're absolutely way off the charts in terms of rainfall, ground saturation, isolated rainfall event, inches per hour, etc. Excuse me. So we're outside the norm. Okay, let's just establish that. Is this global warming? No. Is this sea level rise? No. Is this any particular developer's fault? No. That's not how this works. Is it a long-term political corruption problem? Maybe. But we're in Florida where, whether you're at sea level in Apollo Beach or in Brandon at 37-foot elevation, or in Lake Wales at 100-foot elevation, or in Spring Hill yesterday at 100 and some foot elevation, you can still have flooding. Why is that? Because we live in what's called basins, basically. We live in undulated areas that have high spots, low spots, and water pools and has to find a low spot. And when it doesn't have a place to go, it collects, right? So what you're seeing now in the Tampa area, Sarasota, Manatee, all throughout Central Florida where these are happening, is rainfall events are exceeding the flow rates of the basins in question. Does that mean that there's failed design? Yeah, in some cases. Does that mean that there's a quick corrective action? Maybe. Sometimes there's maintenance issues, sometimes there's ditch maintenance issues or flow maintenance issues. So it's really important for local authorities to go out there and troubleshoot areas. It's also important for neighbors just to go out and make sure your drains are clear, to maintain your ditches and swales and things like that, and try to do that. But man, we're so far off the charts in some of these rainfall events that some of the flooding is the math is mathing, if that makes any sense. What does it mean for the future? Well, math is mathing, and if we're flooding now and if we have predictable similar rainfall events in the future, you can anticipate the same situation or worse. Nothing else is going to change on the other end. Excuse me. And if we have a large storm event like a hurricane or something that has a larger rainfall event like Ian did in Arcadia, 12 to 18 inches up 24 inches, you can expect it would be substantially worse. And that's not good. That's not good. It's not. So what's happening now, the weaknesses that the rainfall is exposing in our area is not good. It is showing us where the math is not good, or where bad, or where we could predictably have issues in the future. It will probably, this data will affect new modeling in the future and stuff like that. So that's tough. And the government also might just turn a blind eye to it and be like, hey, these were abnormal events outside the norm, outside of our statistical probabilities, and we're not going to worry about it because it may not happen for another 10 years. And there's some truth to that. The levels of rainfall we're getting now, the saturation combined with this and that, and the El Nino, La Nina, whatever it is, yeah, those are all real points and that's what insurance is, right? Insurance is not the probability that it won't happen. It's just the probability that it might happen, and that's what we have insurance for. But there are a lot of people having problems with drainage. If you're having problems with drainage and there's a potential solution on your site, you can reach out to someone like me, an engineer, or a friend, a contractor, and get some advice and start to do some sort of preventive things on your property that help towards those future events. Sometimes the math is not in your favor. Sometimes you could do a lot of things, spend a lot of money, and you still can't solve it. So that's unfortunate, but at least you would know by talking to someone like me. Again, I'm not a drainage engineer by trade, but I just know a lot of these things, and we're helping people defend against some of these things in local events. I personally have a little bit of flooding at the end of my road as well. I know the problem. It's the county's problem. I understand it's a 40-year problem. Nothing I can really do about it anymore. I spent all the money I can on my property to do what I can responsibly. The road is flooding as predicted, as the maths, so to speak, when rainfall exceeds a certain amount, and that's what's happening all throughout Central Florida right now. Good news, bad news. Good news is, we're in a statistical area that's not normal. Bad news is it probably will happen again with more development, less dirt, more of this. So defend your own property. That's all I can tell you is understand drainage systems, understand the products that are available to you to drain your site, to retain on site some, and to defend your house in the event some of this stuff happens. It is your responsibility to be defensive to that. And, if you need help with that kind of stuff, ask someone like me. We're happy to help serve our community. God bless.